ML Sports Take here. What's up, Bonna family? It's been way too long. It's all brought to you by Stanley Law Offices and Welch & Company Jewelers. All a part of the ML Sports Platter. We're getting closer and closer and closer and closer to Bonna basketball season. And when you look at this team, I just think Mark Schmidt and his staff did an amazing job of keeping so many of these guys together in an NIL world. Obviously, I'm going in no particular direction here, but Micah Adams-Woods, for example, is added to that mix. I covered him in high school. He transfers in from Cincinnati. He was making about $600,000, I'm told, in terms of the NIL. So it looks like Bonaventure maybe stepped up that a little bit. Plus, he wanted a little bit of a different atmosphere, a different situation. He does love the small school vibe. Cincinnati bigger than Bonna's now. Maybe he's at St. Bonnie with a little bit of a different feel. And I covered him at Bishop Ludden as well, which is one of the great private schools in all of New York State. You have him coming to the program. You have Charles Pride, who I covered in high school as well. He went to Liverpool after his CBA days. I called a bunch of his games on radio as well, and then went to Putnam, of course. Very, very, very well-known private institution for high school basketball. And as we know, though, the additions, complement the nice players that St. Bonnie already had, coming back. And I just think in today's world of NIL, transfer portal, small budget, all the things that we talk about, the challenges that Bonaventure has. I think Schmidt did an unbelievable job. His staff did an unbelievable job with Daryl Banks III coming back, Chad Venning coming back, Luke coming back, Flowers coming back, Jan Farrell and Barry Evans are two big guys, who we kind of were wondering about. They're all coming back. I think St. Bonaventure has the potential to be the best team in the Atlantic 10. I think this is a team that can win the regular season title, has the potential to win the conference title. I think this is definitely a team that can threaten to make an NCAA tournament berth. And then you've got a lot of, key new players, the freshman class coming in, the transfers I mentioned in terms of Pride, Micah Adams-Woods, you've got the transfer from George Washington, a junior center, in terms of Noel Brown. The freshman class looks pretty good too, but, again, only three guys really, in this situation with the way the world works today. Also, by the numbers last year for Bonaventure, don't forget, they were fifth in the conference in total defense, only allowing just under 68 points a game, but they were only averaging 66.8 points per game, which was 297th in the country and one of the worst teams in the A-10 offensively. In fact, they finished 14th. To me, that is where the big improvement has to be. Field goal percentage, they were 10th in the conference, got to be better. Field goal percentage defense, they were 6th in the conference. So we know the defense was great. We know that they had, a lot of stops. Some of those stops didn't really come in key spots, and that was where Bonnie, in a lot of those coin flip games didn't really come through. But in this particular situation, we know that the defense, they have the ability to shut people down. Look at the three-point field goals per game as well. They were 9th in the conference, 209th in the country. Probably not going to cut it for a team that's trying to get to the NCAA tournament this year with a stacked roster coming back. But when you look at the defense, it was 143rd defending the three and 4th in the conference, right? So rebound margin, it was kind of up and down. Turnovers per game, up and down. A lot of carelessness early in games where they kind of got behind and all the rest, and then they couldn't score their way back into games. But this year, the story is everybody pretty much coming back. Few big guys we weren't sure about, the Farrells and the Evanses and the Flowers, those kind of guys. A lot of depth, a lot of strength, a lot of versatility. Guys have been pumping it hard in the gym, big time on the floor. We're seeing some stuff come out on the Twitter handles and all the rest where guys are looking really, really good. And, additions, like I mentioned, a few freshmen, some transfers and all the rest. Looking forward to a couple of Central New York products, Micah Adams-Woods, and, of course, Charles Pride joining St. Bonaventure. And I just think, again, Schmidt and his staff did an unbelievable job of keeping everybody together. And, last year I think we all kind of felt pretty good about the roster going in. But, again, that first month, you're kind of like, okay, they're trying to find their way. And then the second month, maybe a little bit more finding their way. And by the time you get into that, you're halfway through the season. How do you really gel? Well, now these guys have a full year of knowing what they did well, what they didn't do well. The backcourt is stacked in terms of Cairo Luke and a guy who, obviously, Daryl Banks III is just a big game player in terms of his St. Peter's NCAA tournament game and in previous games and all the rest. So they've got some guys coming in. They've got some size. They've got some speed. They have three-point shooting. They just need to get consistent on offense and really bring it from all facets of the game. But when you look at guys coming back, I'm so stoked about Chad Venning. I'm so stoked, about the additions here, Banks and Flowers and Farrell, Luke, Evans, all these guys coming back. It's just terrific stuff, for this basketball team. And couldn't be more excited for Schmidt and company as we move into the 23-24 season. Mike Lindsley with you here, it's an ML Sports Take brought to you by Stanley Law Offices and Welch & Company Jewelers. Hey, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, trying to hike those YouTube subscribers up. I am at ML Sports Platter, by the way, if you want to just subscribe before you, maybe, I guess, go to other platforms or whatever the case may be. Right out of the chute, YouTube is growing every single day, so really appreciate everybody getting involved in that. Again, it's ML Sports Platter on YouTube. Go Bonnas, great to talk with everybody again. Hope everyone's having a good start to the fall. And again, we're just inching closer and closer to Bonnie basketball season. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.